back of the tractor. First, I'm going to start with this multifunctional side marker light. It serves as a four-way turn signal and running light. It's clean, it's amber in color, it's not missing or broken. I'm going to check both my side mirrors, make sure they're securely mounted, no missing, loose, or broken fittings, and no damage to the backside or the mirrors. I'm going to check my doors, make sure they open and close properly. I'm going to look inside, make sure my hinges are secure with no damage, and my seals are 100% intact with no dry rot. I'm going to check my steps, make sure they're securely mounted, they're nice and solid, they hold my weight, and there's no debris or obstructions that would cause safety issues. My def tank is securely mounted to the frame, the cap is tight, it's not leaking or cracked. I would also check inside that I have 1/8 of a tank. My fuel gauge is securely mounted to the frame, the cap is tight, there's no leaks or damage to the tank or the lines. I'm going to check my steps and catwalk just as I did over here. They're securely mounted, they're solid, they hold my weight, and there's no debris or obstructions in my way that would cause safety issues. I have 2 items on the other side of the truck. Okay, I've got my exhaust system. I'm going to check it all the way through. Make sure it's securely mounted, tightly connected, no holes, dents, or cracks, and no signs of leaks, which would be rust or carbon soot. Underneath, I have my drive shaft. It's nice and straight. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's securely coupled at both ends with the U-joints. They're not worn or loose. And I have no debris around the drive shaft or in the U-joints. Okay, I need to check my longitudinal frame of the tractor and the cross members. Make sure it's not bent, cracked, broken, no welding repairs, it's not twisted, no missing, loose, or broken nuts and bolts. I also have a torque arm. It's securely mounted, not bent, cracked, or broken, no missing, loose, or broken nuts and bolts. Okay, I'm going to start with my suspension. I have a leaf spring mount. It's securely mounted to the frame. Not bent, cracked, or broken, no missing, loose, or broken nuts and bolts. I have my leaf springs. They're not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. All right, you get in there first. I'm going to point to the U-bolts. Just point down toward the middle. All right. I have my U-bolts. They're not missing, loose, or broken. It's nice and tight. The nuts are tight and not missing. Okay, in back of that, I have my rear spring mount. Actually, it's mounted to the airbag on the bottom. The airbag is securely mounted to the frame. No missing, loose, or broken nuts and bolts. I have no tears or leaks in the airbag. Right here, I have a shock absorber. It's securely mounted, not leaking or damaged. Now I'm going to go to my braking system. Go ahead and get in there. I'm going to go over everything. Okay, right here, I have my brake hose. It's secured at both ends. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. And then right down here, I have my brake chamber. It is securely mounted. No missing, loose, or broken nuts, bolts, or clamps. The clamps are nice and tight. I have no dents, cracks, holes, or leaks in the brake chamber. Okay, coming out of the brake chamber, it's on the bottom. We can't quite see it, but coming out of it on the bottom is a push rod. I want to make sure that it does not move more than 1 inch when pulled when the brakes release. The big thing right there in the back is your slack adjuster. It has no missing, loose, or broken parts. Okay, now I'm going to go to the inside of the tire and I'm going to look at my brake drum. My brake drum is securely mounted, no missing bolts. It's nice and smooth, no cracks, dents, or holes, no debris, oil, or grease. Inside that is going to be my brake pads. They have no debris, oil, or grease, no cracks, dents, or holes, and they are not worn dangerously thin. They have at least a 1/4 inch pad. Okay, now I'm going to go to my tires. I'm going to check all the sidewalls and make sure the condition is no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. I'm going to check my tread, make sure it's evenly worn, no damage or leaks. I'm going to check my depth. My tire depth on these axles need to be at least 2/32. I'm going to check my inflation. I'm going to go to the valve stem and cap. It's not missing, loose, broken, or leaking, and I would use a tire gauge to check for proper inflation, which is 95. Also, I want to check on the inside right here, the space in between the tires. Make sure the rims are flush together, the tires are evenly separated, and there's no debris or obstructions. I'm going to check my rims inside and out. Make sure they're not bent, cracked, no illegal welds. They're secure to the tire. No rust trails on the edge, which would indicate that maybe it came off the tire. I'm going to check all my lug nuts. Make sure they're all present. Make sure I have no cracks or distortions to the bolt holes. Also, I have no rust trails around the bolt holes or shiny threads that would indicate it came loose. I have my axle seal, security mounted, no damage, it's not leaking, and I do not have a sight glass to check. Okay, I would check this axle, just like I inspected this one. My mud flap is securely mounted, not cut, torn. It's at least 8 inches or no more than 8 inches off the ground. My DOT tape is 100% across, not damaged, and it's clean. I have 2 red reflectors on the back of the tractor. They're red in color, they're clean, they're not missing or broken. I have my 4-ways, my turn signals, my tail lights, and my brake lights. They're red in color, they're clean, not missing or broken. And you can stop the video there.